Hi guys, welcome! In this video, we'll talk about the skills of HELA, which is a new hero class coming this month in Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love. HELA is an offensive support hero that can deal poison element magic damage and at the same time inflict annoying debuffs and abnormal statuses on enemies. In this guide, we'll explore the mechanics of her skills to see if she can fit the current meta in PvP. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. The first aspect of HELA's skills that we'll look at is her core passive skill. Soul Interference is HELA's core passive skill, which makes her attacks reduce an enemy's attributes and increase her own attributes. When attacking a player, the player's stat with the highest value will be reduced by 70 points at max level. But when attacking a monster, it will boost her own int, dex, and luck by 7 points. These effects can stack and will be triggered once every 3 seconds and last for 30 seconds. At level 4, HELA will be able to convert 30% of the attributes reduced from players into her own attributes. And at level 7, she can freely choose the attributes to interfere with via the adventure skills, and the duration will be increased from 30 to 60 seconds. Thus, HELA will be able to reduce a stat to 0 first before reducing other attributes. I think HELA will gain a larger benefit when targeting support or magic DPS classes, as they always have high int, dex, and vit, which are vital for herself. Next, we have Midnight Party, which is a buff skill that can only be activated when the converted attributes added to HELA exceed 80 points. Thus, she needs to attack an enemy first before she can activate this skill. When used, all her active skills will have enhanced effects, signified by the new icons and the surrounding purple border. All the enhanced effects will be beneficial in improving her DPS and skill utilization. It only lasts for 40 seconds and has a fixed cooldown of 60 seconds, so timing this skill correctly will be crucial. We'll talk about the enhanced effects as we go through each of her active skills. Next, let's take a look at HELA's offensive skills. First, we have Garm, which lets HELA summon one Hellhound that will follow her and will not disappear unless she dies. And when enhanced by Midnight Party, she can summon an extra Phantom Hellhound. Attacking a target will make the Hellhounds attack as well, dealing neutral magic damage every 0.5 seconds. Hellhound's normal attacks are classified as skill damage, and all effects are inherited by the Hellhound, including abnormal statuses and spell crit. Furthermore, HELA's Hellhounds can also protect her from death, since the Hellhound will be sacrificed whenever she suffers a fatal blow, restoring 30% of her own max HP. This means that HELA's Hellhounds are going to be very valuable, not just offensively but also defensively. Garm has a pretty long cooldown of 30 seconds, so it's best to use Midnight Party beforehand in order to summon 2 Hellhounds at once. With the rabies vaccine passive, the damage of Hellhound is increased by 30% and can convert 5% of the damage dealt to healing. The anti-fatal effect and the damage to heal conversion from her Hellhounds would definitely amplify her sustainability in the battlefield. Next, we have Bottled Spirit, which is a single target attack skill that deals poison magic damage to the target and inflicts Depressed status. Depressed is a new status that causes 10% of the damage dealt per second for the next 15 seconds, which can stack up to 15 times. It can even reduce the target's poison damage reduction by up to 5% per second with this star rune. This status can be dispelled when inflicted on players but not on monsters. Its Midnight Party enhanced version can double the speed of the stacking of the Depressed status. Bottled Spirit only has a 1-second cooldown and cast delay, so it's pretty spammable, allowing you to continuously shift the target of your summoned Hellhounds without the need to do auto attacks. However, its damage is based on magic damage multipliers, so it might be difficult to deal decent damage using a full support build. And lastly, for the offensive skills, we have Fatal Dream, which deals poison magic damage to a target that can splash to surrounding enemies within 5 meters. It has a huge magic attack multiplier and can even deal additional 4% damage for every 10 attribute points reduced from the enemy. It can also insta-kill players with less than 10% remaining HP or up to 25% remaining HP if the enemy has 5 layers of Depressed status. This is somewhat similar to Soul Blade's Soul Depravity, which ignores the enemy's anti-fatal skills and effects. And with this star rune, the killed player can neither be resurrected nor return to save point within 1 to 10 seconds. When enhanced with Midnight Party and the target doesn't meet the insta-kill condition, Fatal Dream will deal additional HP loss damage equivalent to the upper limit of the insta-kill condition, which is 10 to 25% of their max HP. Since this HP loss effect based on enemies' HP alone, HELA can still deal pretty good damage to a group of enemies, even with a full support build with no magic damage modifiers. Before we proceed to the next set of skills, I'd like to give special thanks to the sponsor of this video, Smile.One. Smile.One is an international game top-up center which has been in business for almost a decade. They have hundreds of partnerships with game developers including Ragnarok Mobile, so they can offer cheaper BCC and monthly premium versus in-game prices. Smile.One top-up is available in many countries across all servers, and there are various payment methods you can choose from. Here in the Philippines, I can pay easily via GCash, BPI, or 7-Eleven outlets and receive the BCC instantly. Please do check out Smile.One's pricing and payment methods using my exclusive link in the description box below. Next, aside from stealing attributes and inflicting depression, HELA has other powerful debuffs that will certainly frustrate the enemies. First is Beware of Dogs, which is an AoE debuff that commands one Hellhound to roar, reducing the attributes of all enemies by 10 points per second. It can also reduce the enemy's attack and magic attack by up to 10% per second with this S rune. This AoE lasts for 10 seconds, so it can reduce a total of 100 attribute points and 100% attack and magic attack at the end of its duration, which will definitely weaken damage dealers if they don't move out of the AoE. Another effect is it will prevent resurrection of dead enemies in the area, which I think is more powerful than Soulbinder's Withered Curse, as theirs can only prevent resurrection of enemies who are still alive at the time of casting. Next is Forgotten Mead, which is a debuff that makes a target player forget the skill they just used for the next 4 seconds. The duration of forgetting a skill can be increased by additional 4 seconds if Midnight Party is active and plus 5 more seconds with this star rune for a total of up to 13 seconds. This debuff lasts for 10 seconds, so if they used 5 skills within this time frame, they will forget all those skills for up to 13 seconds. It has a cooldown of 15 seconds, so a longer duration may render some skill-based damage dealers and supports useless if they can only use limited skills. And lastly, if you've managed to reduce at least one of the attributes of the target to 0, you'll deal an additional 1% skill damage to the target for every 5 points of luck you have due to the Castigate passive skill. This additional damage from Castigate is applied to all HELA skills that deal damage to the enemies, even Hellhound's normal attack, thereby further boosting her damage output. Lastly, let's discuss the defensive skills of HELA. Aside from the anti-fatal effect and damage to heal conversion from her Hellhounds, there are other skills that can improve her survivability in the battle. First is Blood of the Dead, which converts 100% of the HP loss effect she receives into healing and even increases her max HP by up to 20% with this S rune. Just keep in mind that it has a 0.5 second fixed cast time. Its effect only lasts for 18 seconds and has a cooldown of 30 seconds. When Midnight Party is active, the effect is shared to surrounding teammates for 9 seconds. This buff would be very powerful against classes who only rely on HP loss effect for inflicting damage, such as the Twisted Bomb build of Chronomancer and Magic Trap build of Phantom Dancer. It can also be a reliable self-healing skill as it has a synergistic effect with her other buff called Death Poison. This skill boosts her elemental damage reduction except to poison by 50% and increases her poison element damage by 20% for 30 seconds. And if both Blood of the Dead and Death Poison are active, HELA will have a self-inflicted poison status which can stack up to 3 layers when using the enhanced version. This poison status will actually heal her over time instead of dealing damage, as HP loss effect is converted to healing with Blood of the Dead. However, it will still reduce her physical defense by 25%, similar to having a poison status. The related S rune for Death Poison will also restore up to 10% of her HP and SP every 5 seconds, providing more healing. It has a pretty short cooldown, so this buff can be up all the time. This self-inflicted poison status can also synergize with her passive skill, Devil Turntable, as she has a 25% chance of inflicting all the abnormal status on self to the enemy when dealing and receiving damage. Using buff skills will also have synergy with the Hide and Seek passive skill, which makes her and her teammates enter hiding status and increase their skill damage reduction by 15% for 8 seconds. This will allow HELA to make sneaky plays and surprise attacks on the enemy lineup. Do take note that casting Bottled Spirit or Fatal Dream will cancel her hiding status, but her other skills and Hellhound's normal attacks won't. Overall, HELA's skill set is really unique, and I think many players will find it valuable to fit her in their team. She has amazing debuffs that can steal attributes, deal damage over time, and even prevent resurrection. She can also sustain herself in the battle from her Hellhound's attacks and HP loss to healing conversion from Blood of the Death and Death Poison. How about you guys? Do you think HELA should be a staple in a PvP party? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, that's it for this video guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the red subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.